Deep in the remote Canadian Rockies, 7 of the world's most powerful people are about to sit down for what might be the most tense family dinner in history. This is the G7 summit, and it's a powder keg waiting for a spark. On one side, you have the leaders of Canada, France, Germany, Italy, Japan, and the UK, all trying to hold a fragile world together. On the other side, you have the return of Donald Trump. The last time he attended a G7 in Canada, he blew it up on his way out, calling the host dishonest and weak and refusing to sign the final agreement. Now, he's back, and the stakes are infinitely higher. With the Middle East on the brink of all-out war after devastating strikes between Israel and Iran just days ago, a global trade war simmering, and Russia's aggression in Ukraine unchecked, this isn't just a photo op. The decisions made in this room could pull the world back from the edge or push it right over. First, a quick refresher. The G7 is the elite club of the world's advanced economies. Think of them as the board of directors for the Western world. They meet once a year to tackle major global crises. But this year, the biggest crisis might be in the room itself. Let's meet the key players and their baggage. The host, Canada's Prime Minister Mark Carney. He's playing peacemaker, trying to steer the ship through a storm, but he has his own friction with Trump, who recently suggested Canada should become the 51st U.S. state. Carney's public response? Canada is not for sale, ever. The wild card, U.S. President Donald Trump. His America First policy fundamentally challenges the G7's purpose. His team has called the G7 a place where other countries expect America will always be their bank. He's unpredictable, and every other leader knows he could walk away at any moment. The guests. And it's not just the main 7. Carney has invited other key leaders, and that's creating its own drama. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi is coming, which has outraged Sikh Canadians who accuse India of carrying out an assassination on Canadian soil. It's a diplomatic minefield before the first appetizer is even served. The official agenda talks about partnerships and energy security. But let's be real, the leaders are here to be global firefighters, and there are fires raging everywhere. Fire number 1, the Middle East meltdown. This is the emergency that hijacks the entire summit. The world is on a knife's edge. Every G7 leader will be turning to Trump, demanding to know what the U.S. will do to de-escalate this before it consumes the region. This is no longer a theoretical problem. It's a live crisis. Fire number 2, the global trade war. Remember Trump's huge tariffs? He may have hit pause for most G7 members, but the threat remains. The UK just struck a deal to lower its tariffs on U.S. goods. Now, the EU and Japan are in a desperate race to get their own deals before a July 9th deadline. It's a frantic scramble to appease Trump and avoid economic pain, which weakens their unity. Fire number 3, the war in Europe. The Russia-Ukraine conflict grinds on. While the UK and EU are adding more sanctions on Russia, Trump has been holding his own talks with Putin and has refused to follow suit. Ukrainian President Zelensky will be at the summit, looking these leaders in the eye and asking for more help. Can they agree on a unified front when the group's most powerful member is on a different page? Fire number. The China question. This might be the one area they can agree. The G7 finance ministers have already issued a statement taking a swipe at China's non-market policies that they say skew global trade. They're also worried about China's military expansion. But even here, how hard can they push when they're all competing for trade deals with the US? A lot of the real action at G7 summit happens in the hallways, in secret bilateral meetings, and this year, they are critical. Trump is scheduled to meet with the EU and Japan's leaders, who are desperate to finalize those trade deals. There's also a potential North American family meeting between Trump, Carney, and Mexico's president to talk about trade and border security, specifically the flow of fentanyl, a huge issue for Trump. And then there's the incredibly thorny meeting scheduled between Trump and South Africa's president following Trump's accusation of genocide against white farmers. These sideline meetings are full of personal drama and could either solve problems or create entirely new ones. So, what will be the outcome of this summit? A unified statement of purpose that calms global crises? A G7 that stands together against aggression in the Middle East and Europe? Or will we see a repeat of 2018? A spectacular fallout driven by Donald Trump that leaves the world even more divided and unstable? Some experts believe Trump will behave this time, mainly because the US is set to host the G7 in 2027, and he'll want to produce the biggest, best summit ever. But with Trump, banking on predictability is a fool's game. But what do you think? What will be the biggest headline to come out of this summit? Will Trump cooperate or will he walk? Let me know your predictions in the comments below. If you appreciate this breakdown of complex world events, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a deep dive. Take care and see you in the next one.